Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Thrive. It's your host, Carly. I hope that you are doing amazing. Guys, I'm here for a solo episode today. And I want to talk a little bit about a question that's come up a couple of times this week, or, it comes up all the time. But I've recently just opened my Facebook group for Q&A. So if you're in the group or you want to join the group, I'll put a link in the show notes. But you guys can ask me your questions about manifestation, about business, about content, about your offers, about soul clients, about anything the fuck you want. And I am going live in the group probably once a week to answer your questions. And this question came up for us in the group, and it's a pretty common, pretty typical question, which is why I thought I would do a podcast on this as well. And the question was manifesting soul clients at the moment. Have you got any tips? And I was like, girl, I've got tips. So let's answer that question. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit about one of the probably big mistakes that I made as a new coach when I was first starting out. And it's a fairly common mistake. So if you are doing this at the moment, no shade, don't stress. But it's a beautiful opportunity to look at how, we can do things differently. Um, and that mistake, or I don't know, I kind of hate the word mistake, but we're just going to use it anyway. That mistake is leaning sort of either too heavily on only the energetics or on the other side, only the strategy, right? So let's break it down. We sort of tend to have two camps or two groups of people, and one group of people is very much, I'm just going to manifest my clients. I'm just going to do the energy work and I'm going to believe it and I'm going to visualize it and I'm going to lean the fuck back and all of these clients are just going to flow into my world and it's going to be easy and effortless and hashtag manifestation, right? And then we have the other camp on the other, end of the pole, which is more like that, fuck that energetics. I'm just going to take all the action. I'm going to do all the things. I don't have time to prioritize my energy. I'm just going to do. I'm going to take all the action. I'm going to work from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I'm going to hustle like a marketing bro. And I'm just going to go and do all the things because the more I do, the more results I am bound to get. Right. And maybe you relate to one of those examples, or maybe you, like me, have kind of fluctuated between the two at different points in your business. And I know for me that at the very beginning of my business, I really resisted any kind of strategy. And I truly sort of, I don't know whether believed is the right word, but truly hoped that I would be able to just kind of manifest my dream clients in, manifest sold out programs, manifest all the things, right? And I guess I'm using the term manifest loosely because manifest is really just, bringing it into your physical 3D reality. But I guess what I'm referring to is I just thought that I would be able to just focus purely on the energetics and not have to really do a lot, right? And it's not to say that you can't get results by leaning back and allowing, your mind and your energy to kind of do the work for you. But if we pair that with some aligned action, are we more likely to get better results? Right? The answer is yes. And as I said before, I've been on both sides of the spectrum, both ends of the spectrum. And, when I was sort of focusing purely on just doing all the things, I just found that, yeah, I got some results, which was great, but it didn't feel good. And I felt so tired. I felt so burnt out. And I started to resent my business because I I didn't leave the corporate world to kind of get another job, right? And so what I found was I was, working full days or as much as I could working full days. And it didn't feel safe to switch off. Maybe you relate to that as well. Maybe you're in this place or you have been in this place where it's oh, I don't know how I'm going to get clients tomorrow if I don't show up and work, right? Or God forbid, you want to take a week off and go away. What happens in your business? Does everything stop because you're not doing, right? So when we realize this, that it doesn't have to be one or the other, we get to blend both worlds together, right? And that's exactly, that's exactly the principle behind everything that I teach. It's like, who are we being so we can take action from that place, right? Because a lot of people, when they're sort of taking all this action, they're taking the action from where they are today, right? Hear that again. A lot of people, when they're taking all this action, they're taking the action from where they are today. And so let's say you desire to be making 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K months in your business, right? But right now you're making $1,000, $2,000. A lot of people in that position are taking action as the $1,000, $2,000 a month version of themselves, as opposed to the 5, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 version of themselves, which is what we really, really want to be doing, right? If we want to collapse time, we want to quantum leap our realities, we want to be able to get results a lot quicker. We've really got to understand, like, okay, who is the version of me who's making the 10K every month, who's making the 20K every month? What are the actions that they would be taking? What are the thoughts that they would be thinking? What are the decisions that they would be making? Right? Because I'm telling you that the way that someone who is making $1,000 or $2,000 per month and who is really embodied in that state moves very differently to somebody who is embodied in the state of making $10,000, $20,000 months. Okay. And so the big kind of mistake, again, that word seems kind of ick, but it's just the word we're using right now. The big kind of mistake that I see a lot of coaches making is that they're not bringing the two worlds together. They're leaning way too much and just kind of like waiting for things to happen in their business, build it and they will come kind of energy. Or they're doing and not tapping into their energy. They're not tapping into who they're being. They're not prioritizing who they're being. Okay. So when we bring that together, that's when that's the magic, if you ask me, right? And I've been in this game, in this sort of coaching space for a while now, for a few years now. And I've tried it both ways, right? I've tried just manifesting things, and I have tried purely just taking action. And I have tried bringing the two together. And that's always where I've experienced my best results, my most enjoyable results, and where my clients have also got their best results too. And so take clients' confidence and cash, for example. And maybe if you've listened to the episode before this one, you may have heard one of our beautiful, beautiful clients, Emma, talking about the results that she got in her business as a result of how she showed up in the program. And of course, the content, because the content is pretty damn good, and the support that she got through that program, right? But that doesn't happen when we focus purely on energy or purely on strategy. We've got to bring those two worlds together. And Emma is absolute proof of what can happen. Like, she's an absolute, like, she's the evidence of what can happen when we kind of take this seriously and when we choose to blend the two worlds together. Okay. And that's exactly what we do. And before I go any further, I will just let you guys know that if you're listening to this episode in real time, in September, because we got such good results in the last round of Clients Confidence and Cash, like I'm talking Emma, who launched her program after sitting on it for 2 years, and in 2 weeks, she got nine brand new clients into her program in 2 weeks, a 2-week launch. Okay. We also had another incredible woman who finally, after, I can't remember if it was 6 or 12 months of showing up in her network marketing business, finally got her first team member, the first of many, right? We had people who took a weekend off to prioritize their energy and had 4 people reaching out to them, four potential new clients reaching out. Okay. We had, clients coming out of nowhere, like brand new clients coming into their worlds, like that have never seen them or never spoken to them before, right? So all of these results were absolutely incredible. And I knew when I put this program together, I was like, this is going to be really fucking powerful. But I didn't know quite how powerful it was going to be. And so this first round has absolutely blown me away. And as a result of that, we are doing one more scholarship round. Okay, one more scholarship round. So if you were kind of sitting on the fence last time and you're like, oh, maybe I'm not sort of sure if this is like going to work for me, or I'm not really sure if this is my thing. Maybe now you might like to reach out now that you've seen some of the results that the incredible women have got. Or if you just purely missed out, because I know that there were some people who did miss out last time. If that was you, like you do have the opportunity to apply for a scholarship in the next week. Okay, so scholarship, there's a train going past. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but anyway, back to regular programming. We are opening scholarship applications for 1 week. Okay, as of today for 1 week. So that'll be like, oh gosh, I don't know. That'll work out to be the middle of September. I haven't got a calendar with me. But if you are interested and you're a coach or service provider or digital marketer and you're making less than that 5K per month mark, and you want to magnetize your soul clients, you want to double your income, and you want to rapidly transform your impact, then this just might be the next best step for you. And, I sort of say might very loosely because it will be the next best step for you if you show up and you take action. Okay. So we're seeing proof of that still. We've still got some other people going through the program at the moment as well. And we're seeing the proof that when we show up for ourselves and for our business and for our clients, that we get rewarded, we get the results. We start to, see more people coming into our world. We start to see our bank accounts reflecting the fucking effort that we have been putting in, right? Because if you're like any of the people that I have worked with, or if you're like a previous version of Carly, all you're probably desiring right now is for your Stripe balance to reflect the effort and the hard work that you've been putting in, right? And it absolutely gets to, and it doesn't have to be that hard. And it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg, right? I know there's a lot of manifestation and business coaches out in the market right now, and some of them are charging like thousands upon thousands upon thousands for their programs. Okay, and of course there is a place for that, like no shade, but what if we don't need to invest at that level? What if we don't need to go and fucking remortgage the house or take out loans to actually get some pretty amazing results in our business? And Emma is absolute proof of that. Like she got a 10x return on her investment, which is incredible. Okay. So anyway, enough about that because I do have some other value that I want to share with you guys. But if if you want to know more about the scholarship program, the scholarship positions that are open, there are 5 open only. And I know that these spots are going to fill. Okay, they filled very quickly last time. So if you did miss out or you were sitting on the fence or you're just like, oh my God, I've never heard about this now, but I need this in my life. I need this for my business so that I can actually feel like I'm running a legitimate business and start making the income that I want to be making, then reach out. Drop me a DM at Manifestation Mentor Carly on Instagram and let's chat. Let's see if it's a good fit. So anyway, what else did I want to share today? So we've talked about this kind of this kind of big mistake that a lot of new coaches and service providers can make, where we focus too heavily on the manifestation, energetic side of things, or too heavily on the strategy, action, doing all over the place side of things. What I want to share with you now is kind of the way that I answered the question that was in the Facebook group this week around how do we actually like manifest some more soul clients, like what are the tips? And I sat with this for a bit before I actually answered because there's so many different ways that, we can call in our soul clients, right? But there are 2 things that I shared with this person that I will share with you today. And the first thing is really like pairing it back, bringing it back to manifestation 101, right? And that is we need to know where we are going or what we desire before we can actually call it in, right? We need to be able to see it and visualize it before we can call it in. So how does this relate to our clients? Well, we need to know who that soul fucking mate, dreamy as fuck client is. I'm saying a lot of F-bombs today because I'm feeling the fire. We need to know who that person is. We need to be so dialed in and crystal clear on who that person is that we want to work with, who that person is that we want to magnetize into our programs, into our offers, buying our products, whatever it is that you do. We need to know that person like the back of our hand. In fact, we need to know them, where they are now, what they're perhaps struggling with, their challenges, and what they desire and what they want. We need to know that better than they know themselves. Okay. Because when we can then show them that we get them, we understand them, they're going to see you as being the person like who can help them. Right. So let's bring it back. We've got to really know who this person is. And in Clients Confidence and Cash, I walk you guys through a process of like really like honing in on your dot, right? That one person that you really, really want to work with. Because yeah, sure, we could say, I want to work with everybody. I want to help everyone. And again, if you're anything like me, like maybe that's you because you want to serve everybody, you want to help everyone, you want to do all the things. And underneath that, you may also feel a little bit of fear around narrowing down your ideal client, narrowing down your message. I absolutely did as well. Oh my goodness. Because I always sort of thought like, oh, I just want to help everyone. I want to be able to, position myself so that everyone knows that they can come to me, right? And so I was trying to speak to everyone. And what happens when we try to speak to everyone? Like we speak to no one. We really land with no one. And if we want to be magnetizing our soul clients, we've got to know who they are and we've got to really like hone in our message to be speaking directly to them. And it's almost like we've got to put blinkers on, kind of like fuck the rest of the noise, stay in the lane of solving my ideal client's problem, speaking to their heart, showing them that you get them. Again, get them better than they get themselves. Okay. And that's what's really going to speak to them. So we've really got to take this opportunity to get crystal clear on who this person is so that we can actually get our messaging right. Okay. So that we can actually really be speaking to them in a way that they are like, oh my God, like she feels me or he feels me. They feel me. They get where I am right now. And then the next thing that we need to do, which is point number 2, is we've got to prioritize creating quality fucking content. Okay. And now how this relates, you'll see in a minute. But when I'm talking about quality content, like I'm not necessarily talking about like all the beautiful, Canva images and the beautiful aesthetic feed, right? I'm not talking about that, although yes, there is a place for it. I'm not talking about the highly, produced videos with the beautiful captions and, all of those sorts of things. I'm not talking about that. Again, yeah, there's a place for it. But when I say providing quality content, I mean content that is really going to speak to the heart of your soul aligned client, right? That is really going to show that you get them. Yes. Show that you know their problems. Yes. Show that you can solve them. Yes. But also position yourself as an authority and the expert in your industry so that when they hear you, when they see you, when they read your content, they're like, oh my fucking God, like, of course, Carly's the no-brainer here, right? Sally's the no-brainer here, of course. So we've got to get really, really good at positioning you as the authority so that when your ideal client, because you know who they are, right? When they're magnetized to your content, they see this quality content and they're like, oh my God, she's speaking to me. And I also feel and know that she is the one to walk with me on this transformation, that she is the one to walk with me and guide me on this journey that I'm on. She is the one to actually help me tap into the results that I know that I'm capable of. Okay. She is the one to help me tap into this next level of myself. Okay. Whatever it is, whatever the transformation is that you facilitate, you've got to be able to position yourself and learn how to position yourself as the authority, as the expert. Okay. And we can do this in so many different ways, but a lot of this comes down to, your story, right? And who you are, what you've moved through. And I saw a really good quote yesterday. And it's so funny. I've shared this story now probably 3 times, and I still can't remember the actual quote. I should have looked it up. But it said something along the lines of, you can't kind of hate on your past experiences because they've shaped you into who you are today. Right. And if I was to look at this, through the lens of my own life and go like, oh my gosh, like being in a DV relationship, I traveled and sold my house to buy a caravan and travel Australia. And then my husband and I separated while we're on the road. Like, fuck, it's pretty heavy stuff. But I see the gifts in that, right? And I know that had that not happened, I would not be anywhere near the incredible coach that I am today. Because some of the paths that I've had to walk have strengthened me, have strengthened my resolve, have, helped me like create this level of resilience, this level of grit, courage, right? And also, on top of that, the failures that I've had in my business over the years, failures again, like I use that term loosely because there's no such thing as failure, right? But turns that I've taken that haven't gone the way that I wanted or hoped. Things that I've launched that didn't go the way that I wanted or hoped, right? And it's like each of these things, each of these mistakes or these failures or these wrong turns, they make us who we are today. And I have no doubt, like I am so grateful for every single, misstep, for every single failure, for every single wrong turn that I took, because I know that I wouldn't be the coach that I am today. And I know that I wouldn't be able to speak as confidently about what I do as I can today. Okay. Because, you go through some of these things, you're like, fuck, if I can go through that, I can go through anything. Right. And if I can do that or create that, then I can do and create anything. So you really have this opportunity here to kind of tap into who you are, what you've been through, and be able to share through that lens when you're speaking to your ideal client and, showing them that you are the one to solve their problems, right? And really tap into your power. It's really step into your main character energy, because you're not here to just scratch the surface, right? You're here to go all the way. And I truly believe that about you. If you listen to this podcast or, if you are part of, you know, any of my programs or anything like that, like I know who you are. I know your power and I know what you're here for. You're here to make a massive fucking impact. Okay. And I had something else that I was going to say before, and now I've forgotten it. But, really getting clear on like, who are you to help these people? So that you know and that you can clearly articulate that. I know that I am the no-brainer for helping a new coach, a new service provider in their business set up the foundations, because I know what it's like to try and bypass that step, number one. And then number two, to try and DIY it myself. And then number three, to fail miserably in that space. Okay. And from every single one of these failures, we build this resolve, we build this resilience, we build this grit. Right. So I know that I am the no-brainer to help a new coach start making their first $5,000 months and then beyond. Okay. I absolutely know that I am the no-brainer because of what I have walked through to get to where I am today, and what I continue to walk through to continue to evolve and to continue to go where I desire to go. Right. It doesn't just stop. It's an ongoing journey. But so to sum up, to magnetize these soul clients, yes, there's a whole lot of other, strategic steps in between, which I teach you a lot about those in clients, confidence and cash. But it really does come down to, it's like balancing this energetic world with the 3D action taking world, right? And blending them together. It's understanding who your soul client is and speaking only to them and being committed with this too, because sometimes it's going to be very tempting to just be like, oh, I'm not getting the traction that I want to get right now. Maybe I'll just broaden my message, right? That's your opportunity to get even narrower. And then, of course, prioritizing creating quality content that's going to position you as the authority, that's going to show your soul clients why you are the no-brainer to be able to help them through the challenge that they're in right now, to be able to help them get from where they are right now to where they desire to be. Okay. So I'm fully trusting that this has landed in the most perfect way for you, and whoever is needed to hear this has heard it. And of course, like if you want to go deeper on this, you've got until, look, let's call it is it the 14th of September, right? To apply for a scholarship position in clients confidence and cash. If you do desire to go deeper, if you do desire to double your income, magnetize your soul clients, and rapidly transform your impact. Like again, if we take Emma as the example, this time 8 weeks ago, she was sitting there kind of twiddling her thumbs, like wishing that she knew the next best steps to bring her program to life. 8 weeks later, she's not only brought it to life, but she sold it out. She sold 9 spots in a 2-week launch. Her original plan was a 4-week launch. If she had continued to launch for another couple of weeks, I'm sure that she would have got, a lot more clients as well if she wanted to do that. But yeah, so if you want to know more about how you can apply, then drop me a DM at, I was about to say my first and last name then, at Manifestation Mentor Carly on Instagram. Hit me up. Let's have a chat. Like no pressure. Let's just see if the vibe's right. But yeah, if you have been thinking about a scholarship position or you're kind of like, shit, I missed out last time, don't wait, because as I said, there's only 5 spots and they will fill very quickly. All right, that's all I wanted to share with you today. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. This poddy is going out on Friday today, so it's a little off schedule, but let's roll with it. And I hope that you have the most wonderful weekend. And until next time, you have fucking got this.